Hi out there, it's Jonathan Bengal. And as my package clients, I want to let you know that applying for the PPP loan is going to be a little bit more interesting. I'll put it that way. We do have a lot more new guidelines that have been issued to us, especially for the second round of PPP. The PPPs are being handled by your bank, and they will and may ask for additional supporting documentation, especially depending on the loan amount. For those of you that need your payroll costs, depending on which program you use, will determine where you go get them. So, for example, if you are not using QuickBooks Online Payroll, then you're going to use whichever payroll company you're using in order to get the reports required so that you can apply for the PPP loans. If you're using QuickBooks Online, I'm going to show you where you get your reports. If you are not sure where to go to get your reports, for example, your profit and loss statement that's required, I'm going to show you how to do this as well. I'm going to show you this for PPP, but I also want to show this so that you yourselves can also be on top of those numbers on a more month to month basis. I just want to let you know that the team here at JB Financial does their very best to make sure that your numbers are what we call tied out. They're reconciled typically by the 20th of the prior month. So that means that if you are looking and pulling up a report for the month of January, they will not be finalized and ready until mid-February. So right now, for those of you who are worried about your December 2020 or your year-end 2020 financials, just know that they're not completely tied out. They're still in what we call a draft format. So with that, I'm going to show you where to go to get these reports. So first things first is you're logging in to your QuickBooks Online account. Whatever that is, you should know. If you don't remember it for whatever reason, when you go to qbo.intuit.com, the username, if you forgot your username or you forgot your password, that's where you would reset it. If for some reason you don't know your username, double check with us and we'll try to get it for you. But we do not manage your passwords for QuickBooks. Okay, so you are logged in and you are in what we call your dashboard. As we know, this is your home screen of everything that's going on in your business. Something that's brand new is, by the way, really fast, is they've added this thing called a business overview. Shows us our expenses and losses, our profits and our sales over 30 days. Kind of cool. But where you're going to go if you are a payroll client, you're going to go to the payroll screen and apparently not. So you're going to go to reports. There we go. And so reports here, and you're going to click down where it should be for payroll, all at the bottom. Payroll, here we go. And down here, there should be some type of something they call PPP, payroll, total payroll costs is what you're looking for. Will be under the payroll section of reports. I do know on some versions of QuickBooks Online, you'll actually find it here in the payroll tab, and it will be listed right here, and it will talk about your total employee payroll protection number. So it will say pull up these reports. Another area that we can take a look at is okay. So this sample company does not do it for us. I'll have to show you on the business side. I'll show you on my books. So there we go. All right. Needless to say, where am I going with all this? So where do you get your financials? Well, you get them right here under reports. There's two of them, balance sheet and profit and loss. If they don't show up under the favorites tab, then you will find them under the business overview box here, and you would just select profit and loss. Profit and loss. What's really neat about these reports is that we can manipulate this data however we need to. So first of all, you want to make sure that you're going to date these reports based on the time that you need them to be done. So for majority of you, you want to know the whole entire year. You would type in 001 2020 to 12/31 2020. You can compare it to another period if you're applying for the PPP, and um, if you're not a restaurant, you have to have more than 25% of a prior period in which you experienced a loss from 2020 compared to 19, a 25% reduction in gross sales. So what I would do is I would actually hit previous year. Again, I'm making this 2020 on the top. Make this prior year. Do a dollar and a percentage sign. Hit the word run report. By the way, all of you, with the exception of a few of you, are what we call a cash basis reporting, but nearly all of you are cash basis. So make sure the accounting method says cash. You'll hit the run report. And in this particular case, there's no data in this sample company, but if there were, you would see the 2019 numbers driven right here compared to 2020, and then you would see a percentage change here on the side column. Again, you're looking for, of the 4 quarters, so quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, quarter 4, any one of them, you have to have at least a 25% reduction in gross receipts. So just to make things a little bit interesting for us, let me quickly go in here and I'll make a journal entry really fast just to show us what kind of it looks like. And just so you can see what that comparison report looks like. And let's make this number a little more crazy. There we go. Oh, and we'll send this to cash. Yeah, that's fine, whatever. All right. So now that we're done with this little journal entry, let's go back to the reports. And let's do, again, I'm going to compare 2020 to 12/31, 2020. I'm going to compare the period prior year, change and a dollar sign. And then you see here, so here's that change. So you're looking for a negative number, ironically enough, you're looking for a negative number here that will tell us you've experienced a loss, 25% in any quarter. Or you can also compare it to 1 year to the next. So how do you do that? One more time, previous year. Now, what you're going to do when you run this report, here we go, cash basis, accrual, see how the numbers change, that's important. In my course, Rapid Tax Savings Formula, we actually talk about this in more depth. But what you guys need to know is that you can see here, here's a 13% change. If this was your story, you would not qualify for additional lending. So this is one of the qualifying factors. So anywho's blues, once you're here and you're looking at this entire year and you're like, oh, okay, the bankers or whomever needs this document, at this point, you have options. You can actually email, print, or save it, or export it to an Excel sheet or even to a PDF file. So let's say, for example, I want to send an email to whomever it is I'm sending this to. I can click on email. I put in the email address, and then I could say what it is in the subject line. I could be like, "Hello, bankers. Hello, bankers. Here are my financials for 2020. Please note," and this is extremely important, this is a draft, right? It's not 100% yet. So that's what you're going to say. And then you hit send, and it sends them the report right out of QuickBooks. You can also print this out for your own records, print it here, and then you would print this out accordingly. You can also save it as a PDF, and you could save it to your file and then email it to whomever needs it. This is how you get to your profit and loss. Again, you can compare it. If you want to compare it by each quarter, you can actually come up here and click where it says display columns by and do quarters, run report. And now each quarter will be listed. Of course, not as clean because you can't compare one easy year to the next, but you get the idea. You can also just date this per quarter. Quarters, in case you are aware, is January through March, April through June, July, August, September. So July to September, October to December. Those are your quarters. So again, you can just, maybe you don't want to do quarters. Maybe you want to report it, and maybe you want to prior to the prior year. There's no data in this particular company file, unfortunately, but in yours, there will be. And you'll be able to see the comparisons. And then you can do this. By the way, you can add some notes here to the financials. Like if you want to say this is draft, right? You could do that. If you want to change the name of what these things are called, you can call this. Actually, don't really worry about that. The point is, you can change. There we go. You can change a little bit of this. Like you could put profit and loss draft, just like that. So that way, whoever's looking at these financial statements know what they're looking at, right? When you're applying for the PPP, your goal is to not intentionally defraud the system. And so if you send them financial statements that are not finalized, because we personally, I'm not giving you the thumbs up, it is looked at negatively. So I highly encourage you to indicate it's a draft, whether it's in the title, whether it's through the email. Just let them know that it's in draft format. They will accept it. So with that, that's just how you get your financial statements for those that you're reporting to for second round of PPP. Okay, so let's go take a look now. Here's your sign-in screen. Again, if you forgot your username, you let us know. We'll get it to you. Most of you have yours already. If you do know it, but you don't know your password, you select right here, I forgot my password, or even your user ID. So once you figure that out, we'll get you back into your books. We'll get you logged in. And here's this is my company. And I believe under the payroll tabs here, I'm going to find, there's my warnings, by the way. I got to file some stuff. Okay, I think it's right here under compliance. There it is. Yep. So this is under compliance. So for majority of you, this will be your case under payroll compliance. Again, if you're using QuickBooks Online Payroll, and look at that payroll protection program right there. You click on that puppy and it's going to give you the data that you need to apply for the PPP. All right. If you're using a third-party administrator, ADP, Paychex, Gusto, Heartland, any of these other ones that you might be using, you got to go to them and get them to give you the PPP reports in order to apply for these loans. All right. So that's how I have it. If you have any questions about this process, reach out to any one of myself, Paige or myself. We're here to help you. Again, I do apologize. We've just been really busy getting things all finalized for you guys so that we can have a successful tax season. Right now, as of today, January the 26th, we have yet not heard if Arizona is going to follow federal guidelines for the COVID Relief Act signed on December 27th, 2020. Why this matters? Because at a federal level, the PPPs that each of you received is not counted as income. And it also does not reduce your expenses that you use the PPP loan monies for. All right. Now, with that being said, the states, on the other hand, have different opinions on the matter, and in fact, may very well consider the forgiveness of the PPP loan as income and also not allow you to reduce those expenses by the PPP loan forgiveness amount. What does that mean? It means more taxable income to you. It means more state income taxes to you. So what I'm telling you guys right now, we are going to wait a little bit longer, as far as we can go, to get final legislation from its particular Arizona, and actually, quite frankly, nearly all states. I do know that New York and California, for example, have already said they're following their own state rules with regards to PPP funding and forgiveness. For Arizona, different story. So we're going to hold out. What this means is that if we need to put you guys on extension, we are going to do that for you at no extra cost, because we are the ones who are placing you on extension as a matter of benefiting you so that we don't have to spend extra money and time to amend things in the future. Um, what this does not mean is it gets you out of paying any taxes that you might owe to the government. So you're still going to have to pay taxes if it's deemed that you need to pay a tax bill. You're still going to pay it by the deadline of April the 15th. It's just we're extending the time to file. And if it turns out that if you had to pay and we finalize the returns and you overpaid, then you would get the money back as a refund. Okay? That's what we're asking for. That's what's happening right now. This is what straight all this information is coming straight out of the SBA informational guidelines, the IRS guidelines, and the US Treasury guidelines. These are all what's guiding us to tell you guys what's happening. Otherwise, I hope you guys are all doing well. I miss seeing everybody in person. It's just COVID is COVID. I look forward to seeing you all. And until then, may you all have an amazing day, afternoon, evening, or whenever it is you watch this particular video.